everybody, and welcome to Nathan on Shuffle and to my latest episode of New Music Weekly, the show where I give you guys the top prog news of the week and introduce you guys to some new cool prog singles and give you updates on what's happening on the channel here on Nathan on Shuffle. It's August 22nd, 2025. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do an episode last week, just things got busy. But I'm hoping to get back onto more of a regular schedule. This summer's been a little bit wonky because of summer vacation and extra overtime at work and all of these different factors. And there just hasn't been a lot of new releases, honestly, coming out throughout this summer from my perspective. So that's kind of why the channel's been a bit lighter lately, but don't worry, it's going to get back into its groove, and I have a couple cool episodes coming out this week that I hope you guys will enjoy. So what I like to do when I start off these episodes is talk about some of the new releases that have come out. And this is covering, like I said, last week and this week. So last week there was a release from Ori called The 3 Candles and Beginnings. I believe this is a bit of an offshoot from Nightwish and kind of more laid back and folky and kind of more lighter toned, but a really beautiful record. Whimsical Creature, Wistful Thinking. This is a project from Michael Whiteman, who's a member of I Am the Manic Whale, which is one of my favorite groups, and works a lot with Ryo Komodo on his stuff. And this is more of a, once again, laid-back, folkier, pop-inspired album, but I was really enjoying it. I think it's really beautifully crafted. Orion has a new album called Into Darkness. This is a bit in a little bit of a heavy prog direction, kind of akin to like a Rush or something along those lines, but really great, well crafted. You can check that out on their Bandcamp. Bioscope's Ginto comes out today. This is a project from Steve Rothery, and more ambient, more atmospheric tones, but interesting to check out for sure. For me, I've really been loving 3 albums this morning that I've been listening to that were just released. One is The World is a Beautiful Place, and I Am No Longer Afraid to Die. Long band name, but wonderful, like emo, post-punk, post-rock kind of a feel to them. This new album called Dreams of Being Dust is a bit more aggressive, more punky, has a bit of like more aggressive vocals. I don't know if I'd go as far to say it's like growling, like Cookie Monster style vocals, but definitely has an intensity to it, and they're quite angry, I think, on this record, but I found a lot to really love out of it. Jack the Joker has an album called The Devil to Pay in the Backlands, which is pretty much traditional progressive metal. This is on Frontier's label. Reminded me a bit of like a Symphony X, but they have kind of a Brazilian twist to them. They use some Brazilian instruments within their music palette, and I was just really loving it. So if you just love traditional progressive metal, I think this is a no-brainer to check out. And on the non-prog front, I've been really liking the new Wolf Alice album called The Clearing, which is much more pop oriented, kind of reminiscent of like 70s, like almost Fleetwood Mac at times, but then also some more dream pop shoegaze kind of stuff that feels a bit more recent. But if you're into that kind of thing, I know I primarily focus on prog, but I just thought it was a really well crafted, beautiful album that I want to mention. Getting into the prog news proper, aside from like the massive list of singles that I have to check out, there isn't like huge big news items, but I'll hit them fairly quickly, what I was able to pull out. One is Dream Theater is releasing a companion volume to their latest album, Parasomnia. This is a graphic album. I guess it's more like kind of a comic book style of the record Parasomnia. I'm not exactly sure all that's entailed with this, but it should be a really interesting companion piece to their latest album, which I really like. John Petrucci said he was thrilled with the results of Dream Theater's sojourn into the world of comics and sequential art, collaboration with the Z2 team, and exploring kind of visual representations of the songs from the Parasomnia album. So that should be a really cool thing to check out. It's going to be available as a slipcase platinum edition signed by the band and exclusively for pre-order at z2comics.com. Additionally, a deluxe edition available at Loudwire and ultimateclassicrock.com, and an exclusive tour edition will be available on their upcoming tour stops in the fall of 2025. And they're beginning their tour later this fall, September 5th, which actually isn't too far from now, their North American tour where they're playing Parasomnia in its entirety and going to be playing A Change of Seasons as well, which is really exciting. So some fun stuff on the Dream Theater front. So I wanted to mention that if you want to check out this like graphic album that they're promoting, I find it kind of interesting. So second, kind of on the sadder side of the news front, I don't tend to like to focus too much on people passing away and these kind of tragic deaths that occur with these musicians. But I did want to mention briefly Brent Hinds of Mastodon has passed away at age 51 following a motorcycle accident. Sounds like it was not at all his fault. It was just a car didn't yield when it should have, and he collided with them, and it was just a tragic accident from the Mastodon guitarist. But many people have talked about it online and are giving their thoughts about it, and there's some loving tributes and such. And he was a very influential figure, incredible guitarist who was one of the most important figureheads of like prog metal in general, honestly. So I just wanted to mention that news up top here. And item number 3, I found it cool. There was a video from Leprous online. They're covering Aha's Take on Me. It's kind of a cool, I believe the website is Musora, and they do these kind of cool, clever, where they take a band and have them cover a song that's clearly not in their style and try to incorporate it into their style. So this was taking Aha's Take on Me, massive hits. And I just thought their version is incredible. This video is kind of a must watch if you love Leprous, especially if you love prog metal and unique takes on covers. I thought this was fantastic and fun to see them working on this song in the studio and trying to make it their own and adding their own kind of stamp on it was just a treat. So I really wanted to point you towards that that video, which is in my prog singles list that we'll get to. Porcupine Tree alumni Colin, Edwin, and Chris Maitland reunite for a new album. These are 2 former Porcupine Tree members who have reunited along with guitarist John Durant. And this is going to be a new album called The Baldock Transmission, released through Alchemy Records on November 7th. So it's the first time Edwin and Maitland have worked together since Lightbulb Sun in 2002. So it's kind of interesting to see them working together. Maitland left the band after that album, Porcupine Tree, and Edwin was the band's bassist up and through the incident, but wasn't part of their reunion album closure/continuation. But it's cool to see them working together. I'm curious what the Baldock Transmission will be like. They said they recorded it with no preconceived plans as to what the music might sound like, and just kind of banking on the chemistry between the musicians. So something to look forward to. It's going to be available in a special limited edition transparent green vinyl, CD and digital formats available as well with extra tracks. So thought that was cool. And finally on the list, Iamthemorning share a new video, Chalk and Coal live at St. Matthias. This is a chamber rock duo that I've really loved that come out of Russia, I believe. And their upcoming concert film is going to be released on September 5th. This track comes from their Lighthouse album, I believe. And they've decided to add a Kickstarter campaign for this to try to fund the release as well. So definitely, if you're interested in them and what they do, go check out their Kickstarter. So they're trying to achieve their goals, and so this is one of their just rewards that you can get. Currently, the book set includes a Blu-ray disc and a live album audio CD, as well as a digital download. So you can check this out. And I'm just a big fan of them, so I think any release of theirs is worth looking into, and that's definitely on the Prog Singles list, which we're moving on to. In the description, I have a link to a YouTube playlist that has all these tracks on it that you can go watch and listen to. Also on my singles list, kind of covering, like I said, this week and last, so some of these are probably a bit older at this point, but sometime in February I have a new track, A Safe Haven. This is a US-based instrumental progressive metal group group. They were signed to Inside Out and released a new studio record recently called Where Mountains Hide. So another cool progressive metal instrumental track. They have a lot of great prowess on their instruments and have crafted some really cool music, so I wanted to bring the attention to that. Royal Sorrow has a new track, Blood Flower. This is another Inside Out band that's kind of in a newer, like, alternative prog metal kind of vein, so to speak. They have a new album coming out called Inner Deeps, set to drop September 26th on Inside Out, so please check that one out. It's on my list. I really like it. ILO has a track called Mute. This is from their upcoming album, actually coming out a week from today. So this is an exciting single. I absolutely love this one. It's a little bit more of kind of a slow build and just really gorgeous and emotional and just an excellent track. I'm really excited to hear the new ILO album. I think it might be a really special one that I'll be talking about for sure on the channel. Their new album's called Legacy. Like I said, coming out August 29th. So check out this track. It's one of my favorites on this list. Definitely worth a listen. Arjen Anthony Lucassen has his new track, Goddamn Conspiracy, coming out on his Songs No One Will Hear, coming out September 12th. This is a great hard rockin' track from him. He's already released 2 singles before this, Our Final Song and We'll Never Know. And this is just a fun, more hard rock effort from the album, an apocalyptic style album, much in the vein of his previous solo release. So definitely a really great record that I've been listening to. It comes out officially September 12th. I'll be sure to talk about it on the channel when it's released. Ori, as I mentioned, they had their album Candles and Beginnings last week. They had a single also, Blakey Ridge, that I put in my list to get a feel for them. Amorphous had a track called Dancing Shadow. Their new album Borderland comes out September 26th on Reigning Phoenix Music. It's a really cool, they're prog metal, but they have almost a bit of a disco style vibe in part on this record, on this track at least. But it's really fun, and definitely they don't lose their like core prog metal sound, so it's not completely out of character, but a little cool twist on what they do. I really liked it. I mentioned the Leprous Take On Me cover is on my singles list. Jack the Joker, which I mentioned, their album is out now, The Devil to Pay in the Backlands. I love their track. It's 15, I guess, XV, and fantastic track to kind of show you what they're all about. Prog metal at its finest with a bit of a Brazilian influence from their where they're from, so fantastic. Darwin is another group that has a track out called Rising Distortion. This is a prog rock supergroup featuring Simon Phillips, Mohini Day, Greg Howe, and Matt Bissonette. They've been releasing really cool kind of harder edged prog rock tracks in anticipation of their upcoming album Distorted Mirror, out on September 26th. So a lot of cool prog up and coming. I'm going to be talking a lot about it. I'm kind of restructuring my channel, not really restructuring, but rethinking how I put out videos and what comes out when and all of this kind of stuff. So it should be a fun time to kind of experiment and figure out what to do with the channel moving forward. But recently, like I said, there wasn't really many videos this week beyond the Prog Song Sunday episode that me and Jana did last Sunday for a Renaissance's Running Hard. Really fun time talking about that. My prior video before that, I did a spotlight of albums from July that I thought were really worth checking out. So please check that out. That video, it's kind of a roundup of different releases if you're looking for some cool recommendations for music that's been coming out recently. We have another Prog Song Sunday coming up this Sunday. I also have a couple of videos that I'm filming regarding, I want to talk a little bit about my music collection, my music habits, how I listen to music. I've been going through kind of some existential crises of trying to figure out the best format to listen to music in, how to decide what to purchase and what not to purchase, and how to use, do I use streaming, do I use physical media, a combination. So I want to kind of get into those topics and talk a little bit about my habits as a music listener and music collector. And then I'm thinking of doing like a big vinyl haul type episode, vinyl and CD haul of all the stuff I've received recently, especially centered around, I recently had a birthday and picked up quite a few cool records around my birthday, so I want to talk about those. So that's what's to expect. And then coming up not too long from now either, I'm going to do an August roundup of releases that I think are worth checking out that have come out through this month. That's kind of something I'm thinking to do as kind of a regular feature, a monthly roundup of releases that I think are worth your attention. Seems like people really like the July one, and it's a good way for me to quickly get out a bunch of recommendations to you guys instead of doing these kind of solo long form reviews that I think a lot of people skip over. So hopefully you like that. Give me some feedback if you're interested or not. And that's really what I got for you guys today. So thank you for joining me on this episode. Hopefully you're enjoying the channel, and hopefully you guys are finding some cool music to listen to. Let me know in the comments of any news items I may have missed or any new releases that have come out recently that you really enjoy that I haven't talked yet about on the channel. Really be curious to hear you guys and what you're thinking and what you're enjoying out there. So thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you guys hopefully in a future episode. Bye everybody. Enjoy the music.